I'm going to show you right now how to make 125, activity 125, number 9. So we'll create a new document. This is activity 1.2.5, number 9. Click OK. Now in this particular part, it's going to be in inches. So in the last few, we've been changing the dimensions. Okay, so we're not going to leave. We're going to leave it as default. We're not going to change the dimensions. It's going to be inches. As always, I'm going to click on New Sketch, click Front, click on the front, okay? And we're going to make a cylinder, and the radius is, the diameter of the cylinder is 1.25, so I'm going to go ahead and make a circle. All right, diameter is 1.25. So I'll set the diameter 1.25. And now I'm going to go ahead and extrude it. I always like to click on the corner so that way I can see how I'm extruding. I'm done with my sketch. I click on extrude, which would be Shift E. I click on the circle and I'm extruding it a 1/2 inch. So I'm extruding it by 0.5. So we set 0.5. Okay, our extrusion is done. Notice as I'm doing this in the left-hand side, we're seeing each of the steps we've done. First, I did sketch 1. Now I did extrude 1. It keeps adding as we go farther on down the line. Next, on top of that, here I'm going to make a new sketch. So I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to go ahead and make a new sketch. Is there an option for a new sketch here? No, there's no option for a new sketch here, huh? Okay, so then I'm going to click on Sketch, and now I'll click on it. So there we go, and it says Face of Extrude 1. That's fine, so I'm going to click on that. Now I'm going to go ahead and make a what looks like a square. All right. So I'm going to make a square. What just happened? That's not right. I did something wrong. So let me undo. Control Z is for undo. So I'll click my rectangle tool and I'll draw my square. There we go. That's better. And now I'm going to dimension. It's going to be 0.25 from the center point. So I'm going to click the left edge to that center point, and that's going to be 0.25, 0.25. Okay. And that's in the X direction. Okay. I also have to do 0.25 in the Y direction. So from the center point to the Y direction is going to be 0.25. So that way it's centered. Now I want to make the square. So 0.25 is half. So the whole width is going to be 0.5. So I'm going to click the top and the bottom, and that's going to be 0.5. And now I need to set the width. Now notice as I'm dimensioning it, after I dimension things, notice the color changes from blue to black. Black means it's already fully dimensioned. All right, now I'm going to click the left edge and the right edge. And you'll notice after I do that, that the right edge is going to change from blue to black. So it's 0.5. There we go. So it's fully dimensioned. Notice my rectangle is fully dimensioned. So it's all black. Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and extrude. And let's see, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. All right, so 1.75. So I'm going to go ahead and extrude up 1.75. So I'm going to click on, first I always like to put isometric so that way I can see better what the extrusion's doing. So I'm going to click on extrude. I'm going to extrude that square, and it's going to be 1.75. So I'm extruding a height of 1.75. There we go. That's done. Okay. Now on the top of this, on the top, I'm going to go ahead and make another circle. So I'm going to make a new sketch here. So I click on sketch, and I'm going to make a new sketch on the end. So I click on the front. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and make a circle. My circle is going to have the exact same center point. Okay. All right. It doesn't allow me to pin it to the existing circle. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to set the diameter. If you remember, the last diameter that we had was a diameter of 1.25. So I'm going to set it to be the same, 1.25. Okay. And then now, again, I like to click on the corner so I can see isometrically when I extrude. And now I'm finished with my sketch, finished my sketch. Now I'm going to click on extrude. And now I'm going to extrude out my circle. Okay, and there we go. I'm extruding my circle. My extrusion is supposed to be 0.25 wide, 0.25. Oops, I made a mistake. My extrusion was supposed to include both the circle and where that square is. So now that I clicked it, problem is it went the wrong direction. So it went in, but I need to go the opposite direction. So I'm going to click on that to have it go out. There we go. And now I click it. So I've extruded both where the circle is and also where the square is. So it went out 0.25. So it's going in the right direction. Notice it's going down to the left. So the arrow here is down to the left. Okay, now we click check. Okay, that's done. All right. So next thing we're asked to do, we're asked to go ahead and make 3 holes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a new sketch on this face. There we go. Right click on it. And now I'm going to choose new sketch. And I'm going to click on right. That way I'm looking at the sketch. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and make a couple holes right here. Okay. All right. For holes, what we've learned so far how to make holes is we've just been using circles. So I'll click on a circle and I'll draw one, and I want it to be centered. So I'm going to click on this line that's going right through the center. So that way it's centered. So I'm going to go ahead and draw one circle. I'm going to do another one. Again, all 3 of them are along that same axis, along that center axis. There we go. Now, all 3 circles have to have a diameter of 0.25. So I'm going to go ahead and dimension. So I'm going to click on the dimension tool, and I'm going to go ahead and set each to have a diameter of 0.25. The next one, again, a diameter 0.25. Next one also has a diameter 0.25. 0.25. Okay. I'm going to dimension from this center point to the edge of my cylinder. That's supposed to be 0.5. So this one's going to be 0.5. Okay. In between these 2 center points is also supposed to be 0.5 inches. So I'm going to set that one equal to 0.5. And also in between these center points is also going to be 0.5. All right. 0.5. There we go. And I'm done with those 3 holes. I'm going to click on extrude, and I want to remove material, and I'm going to click on, I want to be able to see all 3 circles. So I'm going to click on the first circle, the second circle, and the third circle. So it's going in the right direction. And our part was what? 1/2 inch wide. So if we do leave it as blind and we go 1 inch depth, that will work. That'll go all the way through it. So let me click on check. There we go. And now it works. All right. So our part's done. Let me go ahead and spin around the other side. You can see that the holes go all the way through. All right. So that's the end of the part from 125, number 9.